Hello everyone, this is Scott Lowe with IGN, and I'm here to bring you a video review of the Galaxy S5. This is Samsung's new flagship smartphone for Android and a follow-up to last year's Galaxy S4, which I criticized for being a little cheap, a little rough around the edges, and lacking some focus in terms of software. Let's see how the Galaxy S5 fares. So let's start with what's new. On the back, you can see they've taken on this dimpled faux leather finish. It's still very much plastic, but it is a vast improvement over last year's very high polished, slippery plastic back. On the edges, you've got a kind of more recognizable, a little brighter silver trim, and overall it looks a lot better from at first glance. But when you pick it up, you definitely feel like this is a plastic phone, very cheap, very toy-like, and in that regard, it is definitely falling behind HTC and Apple in terms of using premium materials, and even Nokia with the Lumia line. This is very much a step back in that regard. Also on the back, we have the new Heartrate Monitor, which allows you to just simply press your finger up to it and with Samsung's built-in S-Health software, track your beats per minute anytime you want, whether you're working out or if you're just trying to keep track of just your overall fitness. It's an interesting feature, but I don't know how real valuable it is for the vast majority of consumers. If you're a fitness enthusiast, you probably have a heart rate monitor that you have that is more accurate and more precise. But if you are kind of interested in exploring this space, I guess it's a nice value-added feature. But of course, one of the most useful new features is the new water-resistant design. Samsung has taken measures like this, where they've covered up the data port to protect it from water, and as well as other changes underneath the casing to make sure that if you drop it in a sink or a body of water of any kind, it will be protected. In fact, we've submerged underwater for several minutes and had no problems at all. Although it is water resistant, it is not waterproof, so there is a limit to that, although we haven't reached it yet, because of course we don't want to throw out this perfectly good phone. So if you've ever dropped your phone into body of water before, this is obviously a really big feature for you. On the front, we have the new Fingerprint Sensor, which allows you to unlock your phone with your fingerprint from your thumb, your index finger, or pretty much any finger you want. You can have up to 3 different profiles. So if it's you want to do multiple fingers or have multiple users be able to unlock your phone, it's really simple. Others have complained of performance issues with this, but I've found it actually to be really effective. All you have to do is swipe your thumb down, and your phone is open. It's very precise. It's very fast, which I think is most crucial. Even faster than the iPhone 5S in my experience. Now the speed is really due to the new quad-core 2.5 GHz processor and 2 gigs of RAM. Samsung has always emphasized performance with their phones, and the Galaxy S5 is no exception. Apps load really fast, games run smoothly, and overall, I would say it's one of the fastest phones I've used, especially in benchmarks. All of that added performance, of course, goes towards powering other features like the new 16-megapixel camera, which Samsung says is the fastest on the market, and in my experience, I would have to say it's true. Photos are captured almost instantaneously, especially when using features like HDR, which is really helpful. It does struggle in some areas, though, particularly in low light. Photos come out very grainy, the shutter speed drops considerably, and it creates issues if you're ever in kind of a mixed light scenario. But one thing Samsung has always excelled at is battery life, and the Galaxy S5 is no exception. I've gotten about a day and a half with average use. More aggressive use makes it closer to 10 hours if you are trying to work through the day. And then if you use some of the battery saving modes, you can get up to 2 days. So it is a very good performer in terms of battery life. But one of my biggest gripes with the Galaxy S5, and many Galaxy phones for that matter, is the bloatware. Samsung is really big on its own proprietary software, which when you first start up the phone, litters the home screen. You've got S-Health, S-Voice, and all of the S-variant software that isn't really useful on a day-to-day basis, especially when you've got really compelling third-party alternatives. In most cases, the software doesn't act as advertised, and the design is kind of underwhelming. In the time that I've spent with the Galaxy S5, I haven't used any of the native software, and that's a problem, especially when it's taking up space and processing power. So all told, the Galaxy S5 is a solid upgrade over the Galaxy S4, but still lacking a lot of the focus and some of the higher quality design that we've seen in its competitors. You won't go wrong with the Galaxy S5, but if you value some of those other factors, there are better solutions on the market. But of course, this is just an at-a-glance review. If you want to see the more details of my critique, head over to IGN.com.